Call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Belsley. Hare.
Here.
Herman.
Here.
Hoffman.
Here.
Newhouse.
Here.
Yarko.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Tonight, we do not have any public hearings nor presentations. Under public comments, do we have anyone that wish to give a public comment? Please come forward, give your name and address.
Good evening. Bob Bright, 137 West Chicago Street, Morton. Sound like I'm beating a dead horse, but I'm back again. The Open Meetings Act was to ensure open and honest government. It is the public policy of this state that public bodies exist to aid in the conduct of the people's business and that the people have a right to be informed as to the conduct of their business. Pursuant to the fundamental philosophy of the American constitutional form of government, it is declared to be the public policy of the state of Illinois that all persons are entitled to full and complete information regarding the affairs of government and the official acts and policies of those who represent them as public officials and public employees. Such access is necessary to enable the people to fulfill their duties of discussing public issues fully and freely, making informed political judgments, and monitoring government to ensure that it is being conducted in the public interest. Now, I'm not the only one that says Morton lacks transparency. The Illinois Policy Institute is a nonpartisan organization, says Morton failed along with 9 other central Illinois communities because they're not open, and I question whether they're honest. The village makes minimal effort to comply with the Opens Meeting Act. It places items on the consent agenda rather than separate them out so that there is discussion. The minutes do not contain enough information to inform the public as what was transpired. There's almost always consensus on all items rather than a robust discussion, which implies to me that all the discussion is done behind the scene. It is rare that the amounts are listed on the agenda or in the minutes when money is involved. All these indicate no transparency. You publish an agenda. It doesn't mean much. The minutes, they don't mean anything much either. And the village is paying overtime for village employees and auxiliary police on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, who makes megabucks. That's wrong. They take the excess money from the utility operations of water, wastewater, gas, and stormwater, put it in the general fund. Why don't you consider it given back to the users of the utilities? It's just another way of you collecting money and spending it. The relationship between the village and the Chamber of Commerce and the EDC is too cozy. There's something going on. I haven't pinpointed what's going on, but it makes me uncomfortable. Likewise, with the various boards of the village. When they agreed to build the new fire station, it was my understanding at the time, you're going to build north, keep central, then if the population went south, you had a property on Queenwood. You would be a third station. But the way this deal was rushed together, you don't have that option now. You swapped it. So that leaves the next board without that option. That current location downtown is important. Now, that recent trash contract was a bad deal for most residents, especially the elderly and those that are single. They got by with 1 trash bag, 2 trash bags, maybe a month. So their fee went up more than double. The older neighborhoods have a small 1-car garage, if they have a garage. Now you got 2 totes about this size. That really makes for cramped quarters. I don't think you consider what the impact your decisions are on the residents. It appears that you're more interested in helping the business in this community. And last but not least, I compliment you on being fantastic spin doctors, because that's all that comes out of here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bright. I don't usually respond to these comments, but I would say that many, if not most of your comments are in error, and that I would also say I would hope that that was not a political statement that you were making there. You've had your chance. You've had your chance. Are there any other comments? Thank you. Request for removal of items from the consent agenda. Anyone like to remove an item? Consent agenda tonight is approval of the regular minutes of February 4th, 2013, approval of the bills, no ordinances, a resolution number 27-12, a resolution authorizing an adjustment in compensation for corporate counsel. Our counselor has not had an increase in salary since 2007. Resolution 28-12, authorizing equipment lease agreement for the copy machine at the Tourism Department. And then under other business, approval of joint board meeting minutes. Speaking of the joint board meeting minutes, we do have minutes of the joint board meeting, and I apologize to the community for the village not posting that meeting. That was an error on our part. We do not have anything to hide on that meeting, and therefore the minutes are included. The administration and I are working with Mr. Newhouse on a process that each of the taxing bodies and organizations will have to make sure that we are doing what is necessary for each of the meetings. So I do apologize for not having that notice. Are there any items you'd like to move down from the consent agenda to item 8, consideration of items removed from the consent agenda? Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Hare,
Yes.
Herman,
Yes.
Kaufman,
Yes.
Newhouse.
Yes.
Yarko.
Yes.
Okay, I do not have any items tonight. Mr. Clerk, do you?
Nothing, Your Honor.
All right. Madam Treasurer Controller.
I wanted to let you know that we are now accepting credit cards in the utility office, which also means that residents can get their bill online, so they can opt out of a paper copy and get just an electronic version. So what it will do is it will give you a message that says you have a new bill available. We will be sending out notice with this month's utility bills, kind of explains the process and what people will need to do. We will be preparing a press release so that they know. This is kind of the early part of it. We were waiting till we send those out. So yeah, I just wanted to let you know we had been working on that, so we're excited to be using it. And so far, it's working out great. And then the next thing I have is I am asking tonight for approval to transfer $14,000 from the general fund and $18,000 from the water and the wastewater depreciation fund to the capital projects fund.
Thank you. Motion.
So moved, John.
Second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Herman,
Yes.
Kaufman,
Yes.
Newhouse.
Yes.
Yarko.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
And I want to thank you for all the hard work on that credit card, because I know that was not easy, and it will not be easy in getting it all done. So, and be sure to thank the staff too. Chief,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Counselor,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Chief,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Mr. Loudermilk.
In your package is the Public Works recap for the month of January. That's all I have tonight, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Spangler,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
down to the trustees already. We better have something. Won't be worth coming to the meeting. All right. Mr. Hare.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Mrs. Herman.
I have every confidence that the other end of the table will have something.
I'm sure.
I do not have anything tonight, Your Honor.
So you're giving your time to him.
Yes.
I'm sure he appreciates that. All right, here it goes. Mr. Kaufman.
I'd like to comment on Mr. Bright's comments. I am personally insulted. I have volunteered a lot of time the last year on several different projects. Every one of them have been totally transparent. They've been above board, and we've worked very hard with the staff of this village, and I think it's not only an insult to this board, but I think it's an insult to this staff of this village. This is a well-ran machine, well-balanced, bills are paid, and this board hasn't shied away making decisions. The fire department decision had to be made, a decision had to be made on the garbage disposal and the garbage contract. You weren't going to get by anybody in this village for less than a minimum $14 per month. Minimum. Look at what you're getting for the $15. I challenge you to find a better deal anywhere around. We negotiated honest with the people, the two firms. We didn't get something we didn't pay for. Citizens don't have that reputation. This board doesn't have this reputation. I was in every one of those meetings. We dealt honestly with those people, as well as the Sam Parrott deal downtown. I put those figures together once I heard he wanted to, was interested in the property. He owned every piece of property this village needed downtown. Me and Mr. Craig Laudermilk and the city lawyer, I know exactly what he paid for every piece of property he paid for. We looked into every piece, what we needed, what we could do with it, what we honestly needed. Me and Craig put numbers to it. We checked every different. We kept the mayor informed with it, other trustees, the village treasurer. We presented that piece of paper to Mr. Parrott. He looked at it in about 10 seconds. He says, fair enough. That was it. Property was bought, traded. I don't care what you say. It was a darn good deal for this town. You're going to gain, I'm kind of mad right now. How many parking spots was it? 40?
Yeah, about 50 spots.
About 50 parking spots. A parking spot costs approximately $10,000 to put in. That's $500,000. I don't know who else you'd sell that used fire station that has nothing this village needs anymore. It's worn out. The fire engines barely fit. We bought 2 locations, not just one. We bought one on Jackson, and we bought one across from the soccer field on Jackson Street. For the future 20 to 30 years of this village, a decision had to be made. We bought those properties. They're paid for. That decision had to be made. We can do it within 5 years. The ambulance service in this town is better than anybody's around. We have great employees. We got to take care of them. Facilities, as I talked to Mr. Hare earlier on buildings and different things, he made the comment, which I think is true. Facilities are as part of it, part of employees. Facilities, having the good people. The people that save this community a lot of time and money is the volunteer firemen. And if we don't have the locations and the buildings for them, we're not going to get them. Every year we get by with volunteer firemen, it saves this city a budget of $1.5 million minimum. If we ever have to go to full-time firemen, you will have a tax increase on your tax bill. There's nothing in the budget that'll pay $2 million. It isn't here. Now we're looking at Plaza downtown and different things. The citizens have weighed in, they've had their opinions. But to say this board is not transparent, dishonest, I'm insulted. And I've worked 16 volunteer years on this board, and I am insulted. I'm done, Your Honor.
I would like to add one point, if I may.
You're more than can.
It was suggested that an organization stated that we had an F rating or whatever, one of 9 that did in the area. This organization is an organization that is extremely willing for money to come and tell us how to fix the problem. Whenever I have that situation, I have to question the motives of an organization like that. If you're talking about open, if you look in the internet, you will see all of our financial reports. You will now see, as of this week, our accounts payable. Every accounts payable item that we spend, that we receive in our packets, is in the internet. If you look, you will see the pension information. You will see our financial reports. Everything financially that the board receives is on the internet today, and will continue to the future. Yes, once in a while we make a mistake and don't get a posting on a for an Open Meetings Act. No intention of hiding from the community what we're doing at these meetings. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone understood that there are all kinds of organizations out there that are very willing to rate and very willing to take your money for improving what you're doing. Anybody else want to speak to this? Okay, do you have anything else?
That's all I have. I got it off my chest.
Okay. Thank you for doing that. Mr. Newhouse?
I have nothing to add to that, Your Honor.
Mrs. Yarko?
Just one item. As many of you know, for many years, we've been building up a fund to purchase a building for the tourism office, and we have purchased that building, as you all know. But now we need to look at renovating that to make it functional as an office space. And so our auxiliary police can use the basement, and we have it in working order. We're happy to have the space downtown. It's a great proximity to most of our events. Susan Piles has done a great job getting events all summer. I think we have one open Saturday in June. So we have a lot of events down there, and this will be a good permanent place for us for the tourism office. Susan's come up with a plan using local businesses, village officials, a lot of volunteers to make a space that's functional. It's not extravagant. It's functional, and it can be used for good purpose into the future. Currently, we have $192,000 in the fund, and I'm requesting that we approve up to $84,000 of that fund for renovations. It leaves us over $100,000 for future needs. But Susan did come up with a good plan using a lot of volunteers to get this job done, and it will create a functioning space for us. And I move that we approve up to $84,000 for this renovation and remodel.
I would second that, Your Honor.
You got 2 seconds.
The paper she
Mrs.
handed out was
Sherman?
82, and I asked her to increase it a little
I
bit.
agree.
I thought 82 is a bit tight for what we're doing down there.
And we may have to come back if there's some additional problems we're not aware of at this point. Okay, we have a second. Discussion.
I think this is part of when the hotel motel tax was established, a certain percent of those collected monies was set aside for a future facility of some type. And Is 10%, that yeah, what 10% was. this money is coming from that particular designated funds? Yep. Thanks for
I think we have
pointing that out.
Don't we have like
We have
175 in that
We have
fund?
192,000 in there currently, and this would use 80 to 84 approximately. of And that. we That continue still to leaves- set aside a percent Right. of the, So it'll leave a nice amount in there for the future.
Many of our funds have what we call a depreciation fund, where we save money to build something, water towers, whatever. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Kaufman.
Yes.
Newhouse.
Yes.
Yarko.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Herman.
Thank you. Yes.
We have a closed session tonight, first one being for discussing appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees or legal counsel of public body pursuant to Section 2C1 of the Open Meetings Act. Second one is for the purpose of discussing the purchase or lease of real property for the use of the public building pursuant to Section 2C5 of the Open Meetings Act. And the third one is closed session for the purpose of discussing the sale of property owned by the public pursuant to Section 2C6 of the Open Meetings Act. May I have a motion?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
Roll call.
Newhouse.
Yes.
Yarko.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Kaufman.
Yes.
And the last two motions did pass, so.